So I just wanted to come on here and share something with you guys. Um, I really felt like my life when I got my diagnosis um, was shattered. It was shattered. I felt like God, how could you do this to me? Like I can't believe it. Like I've always been a good person and I've always tried to do people right. Like how could this happen to me? You know? And I went through a deep depression, like I said in my previous videos. And it took me a while. I never went to counseling, but, my mom talked to me, a lot of times. She was really there for me. And, some of my friends who knew, but I was just reckless, y'all. I was just reckless. I was just drinking so much. Never really been a big drinker, but I really started drinking like heavily. I started drinking a lot. I kind of just start giving up, right? And so we're going to fast forward to like maybe a year later, right? And I'm still in this deep funk and depression. I just been doing stupid shit. I've been living reckless. I just been giving up on life now. I wasn't going to try to commit suicide and just kill myself because I had my son. And at the time, I think he was like 7 or 8 years old. But I didn't have any energy. I didn't have any lust for life at that time. And I just wasn't physically here. I was physically here, I'm sorry. But I just mentally was not here. I tapped out. And what I'm trying to get to is I just didn't care. I didn't. I didn't care what happened to me. I wasn't going to kill myself, but I was going to drink myself to death. I already had my medicine, right? The right type of medicine that I was supposed to be on, my 1 pill a day, and I wasn't taking it. I was rebelling, I hated going to my doctor's appointments because it would always just remind me like, no, this is real. And I still was in denial. I still was delusional, like thinking that this is not my life. No, I just wasn't living in reality. So, I remember telling a friend that like, I'm just floating. I don't even know what to feel. I'm numb, and I was out there having partners. And I remember, let me tell y'all something. Yes, I was having sex still, right? I wasn't out there trying to give nothing to nobody or nothing. I wasn't being reckless and crazy like that. I was using protection, okay? There were some people that I did tell when I felt like I could get to that point of intimacy where we had a closeness. I just wasn't giving up to anybody, all right? But like, if I felt like we were going to be in a relationship, I would tell them before. If I really liked you, I'm like, let me let this dude know, because I felt like nobody did that for me. So I was out there telling people about my diagnosis before I had sex with them, and I was using protection. And I just remember this one particular time when I hooked up with this guy, and I wasn't planning to hook up with him. We went to we were going to go to a house party after the club, right? And I think this is probably like my 4th date with him. And he ended up asking me like, hey, do you want to go to this party with me? And I'm like, cool. And I drove my own car. I usually never get in a car with anybody, but I was already in his car because I was listening to music while he was talking to his brother. And he was like, just roll with me. I'm going to bring you back here to get your car. I'm just going to go to my house and get, my wallet or whatever and my jacket and all this type of stuff. And I'm thinking he lives around the corner, right? So I'm just like, okay, can't be no harm in that. Going around the corner, get in the car with him. We in Long Beach. We go over to Long Beach, and now I'm like, what the hell? He's like, oh no, I'm going to this other house, my other house where my other stuff is. And I'm just like, okay, now mind y'all, like I was 29, 28, 29. I was 28, 29, one of them. I think I was 29. So I still was a little bit dumb, doing dumb stuff, naive, not thinking right, and I figured I was already in the car, and I just couldn't jump out, So I was just kind of like playing it safe, seeing how the evening went, And so we got to his house, and it was this nice big house, in the LBC. And we went inside, because he was like, hey, I'm doing construction on this house. Come inside or whatever, because he was like I think he did real estate or whatever. And so I went inside. It was very nice. It looked like somebody was renovating it or something like that. And then he took me to the back where he was like, I want to show you my car. And so I love Impalas. So we went back there, and his backyard was just decked out. It was lights. It was just really beautiful and romantic. And then, bow, I see like this really like pretty candy-coated orange, rustic orange, 1960 something Impala, right? And I'm like, wow, my eyes got all big. I'm not materialistic, but I do like those type of cars. And I was like, dang, me and this dude got a lot in common. He wasn't a bad guy, little attitude. He drank a little too much, but, this was the part that I liked about him that was so intriguing to me. He really had a sensitive, romantic side, and I was like, oh my God, that's a beautiful car. And he just grabbed me and he held me. He was looking in my eyes and he was like, yeah, you might be rolling in it with me one day. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. Put the top down, let's roll, the seaside adventure. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, okay, let me give this guy like a really good try, So when we went back into the house, he was showing me his rooms, and he was like, I know you're trying to move or whatever, like what you think about this spot. So I'm thinking, okay, this is why we here, like maybe God is trying to help me get a place through this man or whatever, because I was looking for a place to stay. I don't know why I'm itching. I think this is I don't know. But yeah, so we went to one of the rooms, looking around, and that's when he pushed me on the wall. He started kissing me, and that's how it started, you guys. That's how it went. Okay, did I expect it to go that way? No, but I'm not gonna lie. Me and him in that encounter, it was what do you call it? I forgot the word. Consensual. Okay, it was consensual, but it was a part of it that I didn't agree with. I was just like, okay, because he got like really, really rough with me, and it just went to the left, y'all. I'm gonna just say that, right? So end up leaving the house, got in the car. I just act like everything was normal because I just needed to get back to my car, and I think he knew that I wasn't gonna go with him. It was just some type of like unspokenness or whatever, but got back to the club, right? Didn't say nothing in the car the whole time on the way there. And, I hugged him and got back in the car because I didn't want no friction, with him. And I just knew from that day, like, I would never see this person again. Never. Like, I'm never seeing you again. So I got home, of course, the next day he called me and I answered the phone. And he was like, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to treat you like a queen that you are. Like, I just hate myself, for what happened. I was just so rough with you. And, I should have just took my time. And he said, may love to you and all this type of stuff. And, I think I was just so numb. And I did like that he did call and tell me that. But I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't care. I just was like, good riddance, bye, whatever, And I just hung up the phone and I never talked to him again. So the following month, right, I met this guy. Literally, I don't know if it was kind of like, it was literally 30 days later. I ended up meeting this other guy, right, talking to him online. We end up chatting with each other for about like 2-3 weeks. And finally, we wanted to meet each other in person. So he's like, hey, I'm going to be out here in LA from Lancaster. Like, come meet me at my homeboy's house, right? So I was like, ooh, okay. Like, I'm going to finally meet this cute dude that I've been, like, crushing on or whatever, blah, 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 blah. He was like, yeah, we just going to play cards and all this type of stuff, blah, 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 blah. So end up going later on that night. Just a cute little date. And his homeboy... Well, no, not his homeboy. It was his cousin. His cousin was blind, y'all. His cousin was blind. And I was tripping off of when he went to the restroom to go pee. It's just the way that his place was, like the bathroom, everything was convenient so he can touch everything. But when he went to the bathroom and I was sitting there at the table playing cards with his cousin, and I hear like no splashes, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm just very in tune with stuff. I didn't hear no splashes, and I told his cousin, I said, how can he see? I said, he not splashing the toilet or nothing. He was like, man, he legally blind. He can still see blurs, but he can't see. I'm like, I was very impressed. I was like, this blind guy is peeing like directly in the toilet, no splashes. But anyway, me and that guy ended up hooking up that night. We did use protection, okay? We did use protection. And, okay, fast forward to a month later. So September 28th, right? I find out that I'm pregnant. I go to the hospital because I almost passed out. You know, at my mom's house, I was visiting out there in San Bernardino. And she's like, we're going to the ER. So go to the ER. I was in so much pain. My side, I felt like maybe I had a kidney infection, something, I don't know. So get there, they're like, oh, you're pregnant. And I'm like, what? No, there's no way. There's no way I could be pregnant. For one, I knew I used protection. And I hadn't been with nobody in a whole month. Like literally, this was like a whole month later. You know, I was with that guy on, what was that? August the 28th? August the 28th. And then I'm here September the 28th at the ER. And you're telling me that I'm pregnant, so I'm just like, there's no how. And the lady's like, well, you know how. You know, I'm like, no, but like, I haven't been with nobody, so how am I pregnant? And then I didn't feel no symptoms or anything, so I'm like, what the heck? So I called the guy that I was last with, and I'm like, hello, like, what happened? You know, because I could have sworn we used protection. You know, he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, because I'm pregnant. They said I'm pregnant. And I'm like, he's like, what? Like, nah, I didn't do nothing crazy. Like I said, or did you take it off or whatever? Because I'm like, you know, I'm just bewildered, you know? And he's like, you know what? I'm going to call you back and we're going to talk about it. I'm at my daughter's party right now. And so I'm just like, okay. He never called me back. He never called me back. So I end up pursuing child support later on when my daughter was born with this guy, right? Like comparing pictures and everything when she's born and all that. We go and get the DNA test, right? Because the papers came to his house, right? So he paid for it and everything. And I couldn't put anybody's name on the birth certificate without having their ID present or them present putting their John Hancock on the birth certificate. So now you have to get a DNA test. You can't just put people's name on a birth certificate. So the DNA test was crucial, right? So found out that he was 99.9% not her father. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I cried. I called my mom like, Mom, I feel like a rat. Like, what the hell? Like I don't know who my baby's father is. Like that. That is so crazy. Like, how does this happen? You know? But I know I was out being a dirty rat. I was. But like I said, I was using protection. So fast forward, right? I'm just like going in my mind. And I'm just thinking to myself, if he's not the father, I'm going back and I'm like, boom, it finally came back to me. I said, that one time, that guy that I was with, you know, that I just cut him off completely. Damn, he got me pregnant. I felt robbed a little bit. I felt like somebody just, once again, dropped something on me, you know, unexpectedly. Like, what the hell? You know, like, I wasn't even talking to that dude no more. It's like a whole year and something in the past. I don't even have his dude's phone number, nothing. And he's the father, you know? I'm like, and it was one encounter. And like I said, we used protection. But remember, I told you he was being rough. So it probably broke. Most likely it broke. You know, unbeknownst to us. And I was pregnant by that dude. I was pregnant by him. And it was devastating because I felt like, dang, I didn't even have that chance. He didn't have that chance. So my daughter doesn't even know who her father is. We have not seen him. She has not met him. I'm pretty sure if I found him, he would be delighted. You know, she has a sister and brother. I don't know why I'm itchy. It's something in this, like, I don't know, the detergent or something. But I think that, you know, he would probably be happy, you know. But then a part of me, you know, with COVID and stuff, I'm like, maybe he's dead. I hope that he's not dead, you know, because he was older than me. He was probably like 10 years plus, a little bit older than me. So I don't know. He drank a lot, you know, and he was abusive. That's really why I stopped talking to him. Like, dude, I can't do that, you know. So I had cut him off like that. I did. I cut him off, but I just wish I had way more information on him, you know. And plus, after a whole year, I didn't remember a lot of details anymore. You know, I moved on. You know, I've had relationships, you know. So, when I found out that I was pregnant, I really felt like, I felt devastated at first because I wanted to be different. You know, remember, like I said in my other videos, I had thoughts in my mind before my diagnosis of, you know, making myself clean, cleansing myself, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically, you know, prepping myself for my husband and possibly having another child and all that. I wanted those things, but I wanted it the right way. I wanted to be married, you know, and have somebody come into my life and have a family, you know, again. You know, I had that with my son's father, but unfortunately we had broke up after so many years. But I wanted that life again. I wanted a whole family. And so I was trying to prepare myself and to see that everything was not even going to plan how I thought. You know, I got a disease and then now I got a baby. You know, it just was crazy. I'm like, damn, life is so unpredictable, you know? And I thought about aborting her, you know, immediately. I was like, no, I'm never going to sit up here and take care of a child by myself. I didn't have to do it with my first child. So I was like, no. I always said if I had to take care of a child by myself, that I would have an abortion, you know. And I contemplated it and I made up my mind. And my mom was like, no, don't do that. You said you wanted another child. This is what you wanted. And I was like, Mom, but not this way. And now I have a disease. Like, come on now. Like, what the hell? And then I'm about to do it by myself. So I just felt like, the book of Job. I really, really felt like the book of Job. I felt like when Job lost everything. He lost his family. He just lost his farm. He lost his sheep. He just lost everything, you know. But let me tell y'all how God replenished me. He replenished me. For one, he replenished me by knowing that when I first got diagnosed and they told me I had 66 T cells, God was able to help me get the medicine. My T cells went up like after maybe a couple months of taking the medicine, right? I was able to get them back up. I was able to get healthier. I wasn't dying anymore. I didn't have AIDS anymore. I had HIV. God saved me. He did. He saved me in the nick of time in that.